But I don't know. I just love the way Usyk boxes. His ring IQ. Um, he knows his way around that ring, and I just feel like he'll be too smart and too slick for Dubois.
As the heavyweight rematch between Daniel Dubois and Oleksandr Usyk draws near, boxing's talking heads are scrambling to spin it as a story of redemption. But for those willing to look past the hype, the reality is as sharp and unforgiving as a stiff Usyk jab. Just ask analyst Justis Huni, who tears into the matchup with no sugarcoating. He makes it crystal clear. Dubois doesn't stand a chance. No amount of patriotic optimism, underdog narratives, or press conference chest pound.
Daniel Dubois is going to get it beating Oleksandr Usyk.
Yeah, 100%. And he's just got to give it a red hot crack. He's like I said, he's getting better and better every time he steps out there, and it shows in his performances. Like he's been stopping all of these top guys.
Is enough to cover the staggering gulf in class between these two fighters. Huni praises Usyk's unmatched ring IQ, movement, and timing, calling him a surgical operator, several levels above anything Dubois has faced or can handle. Once the bell rings, Huni predicts Dubois won't be in a fight. He'll be chasing shadows. While Dubois has improved, stopping opponents and rebuilding his career after the Parker disaster, Huni emphasizes that progress means very little when the man across from you is Oleksandr Usyk. This isn't a test.
I'll give Dubois a shot in that fight. It's a good time. I mean, a little bit of inactivity because of the fight falling through against Joseph Parker, but, it's exciting. And I think definitely
It's a brutal lesson, and one Dubois might not walk away from unscathed. Still, to Huni's credit, he doesn't completely dismiss Dubois' growth. He acknowledges the fighter's sharper form and increased focus. But he doesn't let that obscure the cold facts. Usyk is not just another step up, he's the final boss. And according to Huni, Dubois is walking into a masterclass he's not prepared for. Eddie Hearn tries to keep things upbeat, offering measured hope for Dubois' chances. But even his tone reveals cracks.
It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be totally different from last time. I can't wait to put on the show and become undisputed, do the business. This is London.
Every word
this is my
sounds like a
time. Wembley is
lifeline
my
tossed
stadium.
into
I'm
rough
just ready
waters.
to win, ready for
The truth? That extended layoff after the Parker fight killed Dubois' momentum. It left him rusty, exposed, and forced to carry the weight of unanswered questions into the biggest fight of his life. Meanwhile, Usyk hasn't missed a beat. He's a machine, sharp, consistent, and laser-focused. He's not just in peak physical condition, he's mentally unshakable. The difference in rhythm and readiness between the two fighters is glaring. For Dubois, there's no margin for error. He isn't just up against one of the best technicians the sport has ever seen. He's battled.
This guy's a beast. He's a good fighter. He's a hard fighter to beat. And I think he'll learn from the mistakes he made in the first fight against Usyk, and it will give him a hard fight. Look, he has the tools to...
Pressure, expectation, and his own haunted memories of a previous collapse. As the spotlight intensifies, Dubois storms forward like a man possessed, all bark, full of bravado and wild declarations. He shouts about destruction, revenge, and destiny. But when he's face to face with the ice-veined Usyk, the contrast is almost painful. Usyk's stillness speaks louder than any words. He doesn't engage in the verbal warfare. He doesn't flinch. He just stares back with calm, calculating silence. In those quiet moments, it becomes clear. Dubois is trying too hard. The volume, the threats, the swag.
We've made that point. We're now going to go concentrate, devise a game plan to be successful against Oleksandr Usyk on the 19th of July at Wembley Stadium.
It's all noise. Beneath it lies something more fragile. Fear, uncertainty, desperation. And when the bell rings, the noise will fade. That's when the truth will land. And it may hit harder than any punch. Former champion Amir Khan has joined the chorus of British voices backing Dubois, hyping up his so-called beast mode. But this isn't powerlifting. It's elite boxing. Dubois may be physically imposing, but muscle doesn't win chess matches. And Usyk isn't just a master technician, he's a cold, calculated destroyer. He dismantles hype jobs for fun. Dubois may talk like he's evolved, but history suggests otherwise. When the pressure mounts, he breaks. That first fight with Usyk didn't teach him how to win, it exposed his soul. Now the rematch is being packaged as a redemption.
Is a chance for Daniel Dubois to go down in British sporting folklore and to go and do the business, reverse that result.
Redemption arc. But let's not be fooled. This isn't some cinematic comeback. Dubois remains a clumsy brawler dressed up as a contender, stepping into a cerebral war with a grandmaster. Strategy, timing, execution, that's Usyk's territory. Dubois is bringing raw power and desperation, and against a technician like Usyk, that's suicide. Trainer Don Charles, however, isn't interested in talk shows or theatrics. He's called for war, not words. He insists that Dubois is no longer the same fighter, that he's been rebuilt into a tactical machine, primed to expose Usyk. But here's the problem. While Charles is dreaming of a breakthrough, Usyk is quietly perfecting his craft. He's seen all of this before. The bluster, the bravado, the brute force. And he's dismantled.
Daniel's a heavy puncher. Both hands carries dynamite. And it's just going to be a case of picking his moments, believing in his work. And there are 3 or 4 fundamental things that he must do. And if he does them, he'll have success.
Dismantled better fighters with fewer tools than Dubois brings. Frank Warren is doing everything he can to market July 19th as the night British boxing witnesses history, the night Dubois completes a legendary turnaround and claims heavyweight glory. He talks about resilience, transformation, and legacy, painting Dubois as a phoenix rising from the ashes of his first defeat. But speeches can't erase what happened the last time these two shared a ring. Dubois didn't just lose, he crumbled. He unraveled under pressure. And no motivational video can rewrite that reality. Warren is betting big, maybe too big, on a man who has yet to prove he can survive at the highest level. While the redemption narrative sounds poetic, boxing doesn't care for poetry. It's a cruel sport governed by skill, will, and unflinching reality.
Usyk is a class act, a mature individual because he's older and wiser, comes from a completely different background. But Daniel Dubois is growing into himself. This will be one hell of a fight. This will be a proper fight, like all of the Usyk fights have been.
Dubois may be chasing greatness, but it looks a lot more like he's chasing ghosts. As the date approaches and Wembley fills with hopeful fans, one truth remains unavoidable. Oleksandr Usyk will be waiting, silent, calm, and prepared to dismantle the hype all over again. July 19th may be painted as Dubois' big comeback, but the real story could be far harsher. Instead of rising to glory, he might just be walking into the final chapter of a narrative written not in triumph, but in defeat. As the heavyweight division braces for a seismic clash on July 19th, Daniel Dubois is drawing both praise and scrutiny from boxing insiders.
And I believe that I win. I feel I can win.
One of his loudest supporters, George Fox, has unleashed a wave of admiration for the young British heavyweight, labeling him a knockout machine with devastating power capable of flipping the outcome of any fight in an instant. Dubois' explosive punching ability has become a nightmare for opponents, earning him genuine threat status in the current heavyweight landscape. However, Fox offers a critical caveat. Raw strength alone won't be enough. In Fox's view, timing is everything, and Dubois' ability to strike at the exact right moment will determine his future. It's not just about muscle or momentum. It's about mastering the basics, maintaining strict discipline, and adhering to a smart, controlled game plan. Fox stresses that without sharpening these elements,
It was a different machine.
Self-confidence will be...
And time waits for no man, as the saying goes. I just think that this is a fight that's exciting. It's a good fight. You've got to make Usyk the favourite, but it's a fight that Daniel Dubois can definitely win.
Dubois risks squandering the immense natural talent he possesses. But if he gets it right, If he fuses that brute power with sharp strategy, then victory against even the most elite names in boxing isn't just possible, it's inevitable. The stakes could not be higher. The heavyweight landscape is poised for transformation, and Dubois holds the tools to reshape it forever. The question is, can he rise to the occasion under pressure, with the entire world watching? Simon Jordan certainly thinks this is no ordinary bout. He's been vocal about the magnitude of the clash, hyping it as a massive global event. He praises Oleksandr Usyk as a battle-tested champion, a seasoned operator full of maturity, tactical wisdom, and the unwavering mindset.
I feel he knows, and he's grown in confidence since that. I mean, he's in a great place, Dubois, and he can win that fight. He's a big, natural heavyweight.
Of a true champion. Usyk has already proven himself against the biggest names in the sport, displaying not only skill but composure under the brightest lights. But Jordan's excitement truly ramps up when discussing Dubois. He describes him as a young powerhouse who is finally coming into his own, growing stronger both as a fighter and a man. In Jordan's eyes, this won't be just another title defense for Usyk. It's going to be a brutal, no-holds-barred war, a showdown that could rival or even surpass Usyk's most challenging past encounters. With Dubois entering his prime and the boxing world watching closely, this may well be the moment that shakes the entire division to its core. Yet Usyk isn't interested in hype or theatrics. He enters this fight with silent, focused intensity. There's no showmanship, no trash talk, just cold, calculated confidence. While Dubois leans on raw aggression and knockout power, Usyk brings years of elite experience and mental strength that few in the sport can match. He's already conquered physical giants, weathered every storm, and emerged undefeated both physically and psychologically. As the date draws closer, the true challenge becomes clear. Can Daniel Dubois, with all his physical tools, overcome a man whose mental dominance is just as dangerous as his technical brilliance? Usyk is calm, composed, and quietly terrifying. If Dubois can't break through that iron will, he may find himself not just beaten, but completely dismantled by a champion operating on an entirely different level. Carl Froch has fanned the flames even more, casting Dubois as a reborn beast ready to turn the sport upside down. He insists Dubois has transformed, evolved into a serious threat. But even Froch, in his enthusiasm, can't hide the looming presence of Usyk. His praise feels conflicted, a mix of hope and realism. While trying to elevate Dubois, Froch can't fully mask the brutal truth. Usyk still dominates the division in every category that matters. The gap in class is undeniable, and Froch's words come off as a subtle effort to soften the impact of what he suspects is coming. Trainer Mark Tibbs joins the chorus, turning up the intensity and calling this version of Dubois a reborn destroyer. He draws comparisons to Mike Tyson, pointing to Dubois' raw aggression, newfound maturity, and surging confidence. Tibbs insists this evolved Dubois can break through Usyk's famed defense and shake up the entire division.